All right, so what do we got? Golly, I got a lot of stuff in here. Okay, so trying to work my way through here and finding the things that I need. I don't know that I find as much as I want. Ants. What in the world is that about? It'd be great if I oriented this book every time I used it, but I don't. Oh, that was writing down a dream I had. Okay, cool. Professor Cosmos. That's a big page full of writing. And of course, we remember the camera freaks out before we screw up everything. Some brainstorming for some game design stuff. Things I should be working on. Things I'm not working on. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so there's the kaiju sock. You can't see it. It's just not. It's not going to pick it up. All right. So the sweatshirt design, the kaiju sock, the sock puppet, I should say. So I think I'm headed in the slightly wrong direction. Yeah, that's health related stuff there. The bullet journal design concepts. Okay, other end of the book here. Oh yeah, I need to do the Space Cadet. I need to work on that one a little bit and see if I can get those. I want to see if I can really get those launched for New Year's. I think that's what I'll aim for. I know I keep bumping the time schedule on that. So here's the design for the design for the board layout for Access Granted. I'm pretty sure this is the notebook I have what I'm looking for in. I really wish I had a more stable design for how I was laying this all out. Hand-drawn mazes. Okay, so the modular board game design that I was working on at one point. And here we go. I think this is what we want to look at here. So we had writing projects, video projects, games, tabletop games, products, food, art, music, or audio, and video games, and then the health and well-being stuff that I started. So let's see. I have here the writing projects that I was doing this year were Wrongs, which was the nonfiction discussion of moral and moral wrongs, cognitive biases, and logical fallacies. And then, I mean, I mainly got the style of that one figured out. It's the artwork and the tone that's taking a little of the extra work on that. The next book we were working on wasn't an individual, the next writing project wasn't a book. It was actually 3 short stories, or 2 short stories and a novella. The first I've called Buried, Plague, and Eugenics were the 3 stories. And I'll cover those, I think, in another episode in more detail. This is going to be mainly just looking over what we did this year as a larger picture, and then I'll delve later as we go forward into more of them. Then there was the Goblin's Daughter story, which ended up being a world-building exercise in designing an entire universe for story writing and character development. That is built into, that involves many of my other works. And then subsequent to that, I did some sci-fi shorts where they were intended to be hard sci-fi songs, sort of set in the Rita Ray Gun setting from one of my board game designs. And then after that, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th component of writing that we did this year was writing up bits for D&D characters that I have. Then videos that we had this year, or we were working on this year, were anyway, I got this whole thing right here. I got to really plan out, like, looking at what we're going to do this coming few weeks is really what I'm trying to do. Because we've got 20 days left. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So we have 34 things that we could cover. We're kind of late. If we had started at the start of the month, we could have gotten most of this out of the way by the end of the month, one day at a time for each one. But such is my life. But okay, so the videos projects that I was working on this year were the horror short that I started as an animation, and it doesn't look like that's the best way to do it anymore. And then sketch comedy, videos that you can make with zero camera, and then cheap camera video series, and then my homage videos that I want to work on. Board games were Access Granted, Rita Ray Gun story game, and the Rocket Rangers board game, superhero dice game, the modular game, and a game that I was working on not that long ago that was Elements. And then product, we did the puzzle tray, backpack, bullet journal designs, hero hoodie and kaiju socks, the t-shirt line, and trying to figure out a mechanism for doing 4-channel audio games, which brings us over into the audio music category, where working on channel song, audio game, and audio game, remixed old music, and the 4-channel audio one. And the art was going to be painting. We did the paintings, we did the pixel art, and then homage video for art, as well as the 4-channel audio game. So it's like that one covered overlaps between product, art, and music. Food, we did mukbang, cooking show, recipes, keto taste tests, and protein taste test. Art, music, we did that one. And then video games was the other big one, other big category. So I have in here my zombie game, zombie apocalypse game. Presence and Slime Boy were two games that I had come up with before I started this year and had kind of proposed some of those ideas during this year. So Presence was actually an idea I had last December, I think it was, or November or December. And Slime Boy was the idea that came into my head when we started the first video game design, but I ultimately opted to go with the option for zombies. So I revisited the Slime Boy later on in the year. Then we have Captain Cosmos YouTube game, and Captain Mr. Space Ninja, as well as the trivia video game. And then we have Liquid Metal Rage, the puzzle game that I came up with around the same time, and Cuddle Pop. And those were the video games that I came up for this. Now, there's also the category of health and well-being, which I started, and I did a fair amount of that work this past year, where trying out different exercise routines and different dietary choices to see what worked for me in certain ways. So I think what I'll try to do over the next few days is let's see what we got. We got about 3 weeks. I suppose I could, do some cherry picking through those lists and find like the ones that look best to discuss at a given time. I mean, by no measure are all of them done, and some of them need some continued development, but I can share how far I am on most of them. And then I do want to see if I can show off by the end of the month some of the ones that I did actually finish. In the meantime, I did encounter a bit of something yesterday when I was going through my candy canes that I was going to do the videos for. I did originally look up the 12 Days of Christmas, which starts on the 25th and ends on the 5th of January. But I thought ultimately that seems like it was spread out too much on either side of January, like on either side of New Year's. And I wanted to be a little bit more all focused at finishing this month up with it. So what I ended up doing a search on before was Yule. Yule starts on the 22nd and ends on the 2nd. And so, that one seemed like it fit better for me. The issue I have with that is if I do it the way I was talking about doing it before, where I do the 12 days before and then the 12 days of, Yule starts on the 22nd. If I were to do that today, the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21, 22 would be, that would get you 12 days to the start of Yule. And, right? Let's see. Let's double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the 12th day would be the 22nd, where Yule starts. And then Yule would be the 22nd, 23rd, all the way through to January 2nd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the 2nd would be the last day of Yule. So I've debated whether or not that's what I want to do instead, because that really lines up on the calendar better for what I'm aiming for. But by the same token, it is a little more esoteric. And the difference between Yule start and the start of the 12 days of Christmas is literally just a few days. So I've been debating, like, if I started tonight with the candy canes of multiple flavors, I'd finish on the start of Yule. And then I could start the 12 days of Christmas on the 25th, giving 2 days in between. Or I could start the multi-flavors on the first day of Yule, which would be the 22nd, and then I'd have 1, 2, 3 or 4 of them before I start doubling them up, and I would be doing one of each day, which is sort of counter to what I'm aiming for. I think. So I'm not super excited about that one, but the possibility of basically I have a few options here. I can do start today to end on Yule and start the 12 days of Yule then. Or I could start today, end on Yule, the first day of Yule, and then start the next batch for the 12 days of Christmas. Or I could start on the start of Yule, overlap them, and start on the second batch on the 12 days of Christmas. Or I could skip the 12 days of Christmas and simply do now to Yule and Yule to January 2nd. And then there's the final option of skipping Yule at all and just start on Friday, 12 days before Christmas and the 12 days of Christmas. I'm not sure which makes the most sense. I'm also thinking I'm going to have to try to get back into Black Mirror and finish that off, and then do Metal Hurlant for the end of the year. On that the other day. Carnival Row is sort of I'm enjoying it. I've only seen 2 episodes so far, but I'm enjoying it, but I'm also a little bit torn because it feels like it's ripping off my Feuilleton Noir. Now, I know they didn't see my stuff and decide they wanted to write that too. It's always going to be talked about as if it's a copycat of Carnival Row, which sucks because I was doing it years ago, and I do still think it's a very good idea. I'm just going to have to figure that out as I go. But I will go back to Black Mirror in the next few days. I'm going to be doing, I guess, the one... It feels sort of wrong to do it, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If I do, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the 25th through to the 5th of January can be the 12 days of Christmas. Taste tests. And then prior to that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So Friday night up to the 24th will be the multi-flavor pack taste tests, one flavor at a time. And then New Year's Eve up through the 5th of January, I guess, is the 12 Days of Christmas candy cane tasting. And then I still have to figure out what I'm doing for New Year's, don't I? Yeah. All right. I got to brainstorm that over the next few days. But I think tomorrow what I want to do is, it feels like we have 3 weeks. We have 8 categories of content. So, well, no, if we do this week, next week, Christmas week, and then the short week at the start of New Year's. So the 29th, 30th, and 31st, if we count that as a week, we can put this out as like 4 weeks. So this week, I could do 2 of the categories. So instead of doing like books, movies, tabletop games, products and services, taste tests, art and music, video games, and health and well-being, which is 8 categories, I can do 2 of each week. And so there'd be 5 of each thing that I did every month, or every week of a month that I did. So there should be 5 books, or 5 writing projects, 5 movies or video concepts, 5 board game designs. Now I did do more on some of them, so it's going to be a bit of a jumbled mess. I'm not going to lie, but I feel like it makes sense if I did say books or writing and products, and then board games and art and music, and so on and so forth. And so this week, I guess we'll find out what I summarize tomorrow, I guess, because we're coming up on a half an hour and I kind of want to call it here. But I think that makes sense. I'm going to split the weeks up over with the things that I've done this year so far. And then Friday starts the taste tests of candy canes, I guess. And tomorrow, I think I should start uploading the reactions to Black Mirror episode. And I hope by Saturday, or probably more like Sunday, I'll get the chance to upload some creative ideas inspired by Black Mirror episodes from season 1. I can do season 2, 3, and how many are there? I think there are. Oh, let's see if I can pull that up. Black Mirror. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? So Black Mirror has. No, I don't actually want you to play the video. Stop. No, don't spoil anything for me, please. Seasons. Don't be a dork. Are you kidding me? So it looks like I need you not to fight me. So there are 6 seasons, And I'm in season 3. There are 5 seasons, and we got 4 weeks left. So I think what I need to do is season 1 creative prompts, season 2 creative prompts by Sunday. Next week, season 3 and season 4 creative prompts. And then season 5 creative prompts after that. As I finish the series. Because I should be able to finish the series, if I do it right, I should be able to finish the series with enough time for Metal Hurlant to have an episode a day. And so that's season 1 and season 2 of Metal Hurlant has, they each have 6 episodes in it. So 12 days before the end of the year is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, the 20th. So I've got to finish up Black Mirror in the next 8 days. So I'm going to have to double or even triple up some episodes on certain days. But I think I've got the time tomorrow where I should be able to get back. I'll get back here after dark, so the lighting will be all right for me to be able to do what I need to do. And then I should be able to bang out maybe 3 episodes tomorrow. And that should get me close to breaking even. And let's see. I think this season has 2 more in it. No. This season has 6 episodes. I think I have 4 more in this one. Let's have ourselves a look again. So, season 3, I'm doing that. So I've watched 4 episodes of 6. So there are 2 more in this season. And there are 6 in next season. So 8. And then 3 in the last one. So 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is kind of funny. Everything's turning out to 12 days this year. So it's funny. Okay, so the 12 days of Yule would be, that could be kind of funny, is if I did the Yule, 12 days of Yule would be 12 days of Metal Hurlant, but I'd have started to not quite meshing up, but it's all right. So I'm going to do, how many days do I got left here for this? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'd have to start Metal Hurlant on the 20th to end by New Year's Eve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 days, if you don't count today, between now and the 20th. And that should get me, I have, what is it? We said 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 episodes to do before then. So this week I may double up. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I could do that. I could do 2 episodes tomorrow, 2 episodes Friday, 2 episodes Saturday, and then next week it's going to be 1 episode a piece Monday through Thursday, and then Friday and Friday is when we start Metal Hurlant, and it'll be one episode a day until New Year's Eve. Will be the last one. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do on New Year's Eve. And then I got to figure out what I'm doing to start the new year off right. So that's sort of what the big project. So I got to sit down and figure out the 2 categories that I'm going to start covering tomorrow. And then the 2 categories next week and the week after that. And then the last 2 categories that we'll cover for New Year's. Probably going to be health and well-being and what other category would go well with that? Video? I'll have to think about it. But I've got some things to plan. But we're working on a plan now. We're back in the saddle of making plans and doing things again. And we'll wait to see what tries to derail me this time. But in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you again, and take care of yourself. Have a good night. All right, yeah, thanks for popping up and blocking my access to that, you silly little window. I'm trying to remember how I do this. All right, fare thee well. Where's the out button? Outro.